live button. um, I'm sorry, y'all. So I'm a little ill, so there will be snot tissues, some sniffling, hopefully not, but maybe some hacking up the mucus, getting it out of my system. Sorry to be so uncouth on this thing. Sorry, not sorry. Um, I it's gonna be a little longer live stream. Well, if it let me, I'm on 20%. I got the notice already, but I got my charger with me, so it just depends on how this goes and how this flows. Um, it says that I'm live, but when this premieres, I will not be live. I am taking this video Thursday, December 19th at 6:51 p.m. And this is set to premiere Monday, December 23rd at noon. And Psalms 91 just came to mind. I want to read it real quick. I want to, I did a little prayer before I started, asking for my, you don't know, asking for God to lead my tongue and guide the message, asking for the Lord to do that for me today. Sometimes I be caught between, like, it's not that I want to get on the internet and spill my guts and spill the tea. However, not because you don't know. However, I do have times where I'm like, let the people know, tell the people, inform the people. And I don't even know who the people are. It's not like I got thousands of followers or anything like that. However, when I started this YouTube journey in March, and when I say started, I mean like posting and being like, all right, I'm gonna do some content. I wouldn't call myself a YouTuber, but I do content, real life vlog, documentary style content. And so when I started that in March, it's like I be led to share, like I be led to share, and a lot of the times, majority of the times, like I stop myself and I don't share the content that I am inspired to. I just stick to what I know or where I'm comfortable being vulnerable. So I'm comfortable being vulnerable in the gym. I'm comfortable being vulnerable with my nutrition. I'm comfortable being vulnerable with fitness. And so that's what I stream. That's what I go live with. Sometimes I may do little messages or post-workout messages, give the word. But imagine those times like infinity or times 1,000, times 10. And I'm just like, when I get those, like, I won't necessarily call them prophetic words, but when I get those inspired messages, parables, they could be prophetic word. When I get those testimonial inspirations to share, I'm just like, girl, no. Stop putting your business on the internet. Go talk to your therapist or something like that. And we do those things. We're doing all things. However, we're still here tonight. So I want to just read Psalms 91. And I was just locked up for 32 days. And I said this prayer most every day. And this prayer really got me through. And I read a book called Psalm 91. It's like a military-based book, but it breaks down the Psalm 91. And it was so beautiful. And what I thought was even more beautiful was that it was a living word for me today. Like, it's still a living word for me today. Like here, December 19th, it was a living word when I was in there, November and October reading it, which led me to read all the Psalms and Proverbs and Job. And I'm just like, man, this is like real today's time. Like, and it's not my first time reading the Bible and seeing that it was a living word. However, this is the first time me reading the Bible and seeing that it's a living word and taking it as guidance, as opposed to like, let me shut this. I can't handle the truth, or I can't deal with comes with this, you know. So Psalms 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. But because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place, no evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. So I just wanted to start with that word, because there's so much in that psalm. And this, maybe one day I'll do a Bible study on it, but this is not what that is for. That was just the prayer I wanted to start this with. That's the energy I wanted to start this with. And I set this to air at noon on the 23rd, because from the time this year, which was in sometime in late October, when I picked up the word and I started reading Psalm, and it talked about, it says, and I ain't gonna get too deep in this. It's just 2 points, three. I'm gonna do 3 points that I just need to nail home. Nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. And so the Bible, multiple times, at least from what I've read so far, I'm doing my own understanding and reading and intimate dining of the word and with Jesus. However, in Psalms alone, it states multiple times the time of prayer, and it talks about morning, noon, and night. Morning, noon, and night. Morning, noon, and night. And what I saw as a living word while I was incarcerated was that around noon, not all the time at noon, but it could be anywhere from noon to 1:30, was lunch. And I spent some time in confinement. In solitary. And in solitary, they check your cell 4 times a day. Once you get to GP, it's like dorm format. But I started noticing, like, from reading that word, I would be conscious of like time of day. And it was like, even in jail, things can be copacetic. However, it is, in my opinion, and a lot of fact, that it's kind of like poking the bear in there. It's not meant to be an environment for growth. It is meant to stifle your growth. It is spiritual growth, mental growth, emotional growth, physical growth. It is meant to keep you small. Almost like if you ever read The Study with Fleas in a container, and then once you move that container, even though they could jump hundreds of feet high, they stay jumping at the minimal amount because they're used to like being in that container. That is the environment that jail is. And so around noon, I was in there and I would be praying. I would just be like, yo, like, even outside of like the injustice that I was experiencing to get me there, it was like while I was in there, It's just like, just see the days through. You know what I'm saying? See the days through. Be obedient. Listen. Adhere to, you know, the rules in here. And even with doing that, it was still some type of tension, some type of banter, some type of I'm big, you're little, authoritative energy. And again, I guess that space is meant to be that. But I just noticed like around noon would be the worst of them. Like, you know, I don't know if it was the CEO's worst time of day or what, but around noon it was just like prepare. You know, you might get a CEO who come in here and check your sale and she put the handcuffs on too tight, or she might twist your arm up. My right shoulder is a little, ugh. You know, she might twist your arm up a little too much, or you know, pull the cuffs. And you know, I just noticed like around noon when they come to check my cell, like they nasty. You know what I'm saying? When I got to general public and medication is coming around noon right before lunch, they're nasty. Like, you know what I'm saying? I hope you know what or if you don't know what I'm saying, I'm trying to explain to you what I'm saying. I'm gonna stop saying you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so I realized that, and so like I've been paying attention to noon. And I think there's certain times a day where like the enemy is is highly charged. And I think one of those times a day is noon. Like morning can be 5 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. Night could be 7 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. However, noon is noon. Noon is midday. And midday, I can attest to in my own experience in these last 40 days, 44 days, 50 days, that the enemy is heightened at noon. You know? So, not this is a message for the enemy on Monday. However, this is just when you know what you're dealing with, a part of it's not a game, but a part of the fear, a part of what you need to do, a part of the fear weakens, and a part of what you need to do strengthens. You know, so I started this with like saying I've been led to these testimonies that I don't post, I don't record, I just keep it to myself, you know. And I've been sitting here and I've been outside all day because I'm, like I said, I'm ill and I want to get rid of the illness. And I've been doing it the natural ways. I've been with the teas, the natural herbs, the ashwagandha, the ginseng when I need energy, being outside in the sun, like literally sitting in the sun. I'll get in the gym later on tonight. Just natural healing, which it's going to take a little more time. Like, I would like to take some therapy and get this out my system within like 2-3 hours. However, that ain't no route we're being led to. We're being led to read the Bible and pray, and like I said, the herbs. So the next point I want to make from this Psalm 91 is because no, sorry. For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. Y'all. So prep officially started for me December 1st. And I want to say like December 3rd. I think it was before that. I can't remember, but the week of December 1st, and December 1st was a Sunday, I cut my foot. And it was so painful to even like walk on, put pressure on, let alone go to the gym. So when I went to the gym, I was only doing upper body, only seated upper body. If I had to stand, I couldn't do it. I wasn't doing any cardio. I want to say, because I sat down for like 2 weeks. Like that last week, I started getting on the bike, which was okay, but I was very mediocre. And you know, when I cut my foot, it brought me back to Psalm 91, 11 through 12, which is, for he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. I'm just like, man, like, let me tell y'all how even, like, why it hit, like, why it was so personal for me. Because December 1st was the deadline for the Arnold Classic applications. And bodybuilding, IFBB Federation, their qualifications for certain shows. So of course, to compete in the pro league, you have to be of professional status by winning your pro card and an amateur league, which is NPC for IFBB. To compete at the Olympia, you have to have won a show for that year, and then there's a little like there's some not nuances, but there's some specifications to that, because if you got top 3 at the Olympia, then you're able to come back and compete. However, the Arnold is the only show where you have to submit an application. You submit an application, and then from that application and the applicants, they go through and pick who they want to invite. And when I earned my pro card in November of 2019, I remember stepping off stage and doing this post interview. I want to say it was with Strength Addicts, and they were, I don't know if it was in an interview or it was in a conversation. It was one of the two. But they asked me, oh, so what show are you doing next? I'm like, what's the next big show? They like the Arnold. I'm like, I'm doing that then. And at that time, I was ignorant to the fact that like you had to have had some accolades built up, you know, in order to apply to the Arnold. Now, fast forward, this is 5 years later, and before I got arrested, October 26th, I had already planned to shoot my shot with the Arnold. It was just like, I mean, what's the worst that happen? You don't get invited? You know what I'm saying? But at least you shoot your shot. Like, no matter what, I know for a fact that I'm making my pro debut in 2025. So the Arnold, because it's a prestigious, it's the Arnold Classic. Okay? Sorry, I'm coughing, a lot going on. It's a very prestigious show. It's also one of the top playing shows for bikini. So I'm like, this is the move. And so again, this was my plan to apply before I had even got arrested. Mind you, I'm sitting in jail for this time, and I am in the Word, I'm in the Bible, and my life outside of inside is like just really on my mind, you know, because I don't have it, you know. I can't wake up and move how I want to, do what I want to. I gotta ask to go to the bathroom. It's a lot. And so I went ahead and I applied, and of course I didn't. Not of course. I set myself some deadlines. I was released 2 days before Thanksgiving, so the 26th. And I told myself I'm gonna submit the application and my interest email to the IFBB on Thursday. I thought it was beautiful that it was Thanksgiving, and like it really brought in the word Thanksgiving for me, like the word itself. And you know, just dissecting that, I'm like, I really am thankful. What's the best way that I can show the Lord my thanksgiving? And it's by being spiritually fit along with being physically fit. So I'm like, just go ahead and submit this application. However, I was dealing with some imposter syndrome and just couldn't get the application down when I had wrote down and planned out to. So at first I worked the 28th, then I worked the 29th. I knew the deadline was the 1st. So I did submit it on time. Let me speed the story up. I submitted the application on time. However, I did not get selected. And it's understandable. Like I said, I was shooting my shot. Not really throwing spaghetti at the wall, but just shooting my shot. Like, this your goal, like, shoot for it. Like, you miss all the shots that you don't make, and you only got one pro debut. Like, could you imagine if you're pro, if you get accepted and they do say yes to this? But you also got to understand the worst that can happen is that you don't get accepted, you don't get the invite. And that's what happened. And it wasn't like, when I found out, I wasn't like real big on myself, like down, like I wasn't worthy. I actually thought that it was a good thing for me. I thought that it was like, if you got this right now, you would have fumbled the ball, you would have fumbled the bag. And maybe I would have felt different if I had done some things a little different. But I'm gonna be as real and honest with myself as I can. So I was just like, if yes, disappointing to go after goal and not get it, and getting and rejection is disappointing, like a no is disappointing. However, you would have got that and you would have fumbled it. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to make your pro debut and just be on stage like, oh, I did the pro debut. No, you're going to win. You're going to get this money on. And I wouldn't have been ready. Period. I wouldn't have been ready. And I think it's beautiful how the angels surrounding me knew that before I even knew it. And you know, I did dash my foot on the stone. I don't know how I cut my foot. Actually, I don't know if it was on the stone, but I just came in the house and it was blood on the floor. I'm like, what the fuck is blood coming from? I realized it's coming from my foot. And I'm like, what did I cut my foot on? And so, like, that's what I mean by, like, living word. And to some, it may be, like, so minuscule. However, being the type of person that I am, like, that would have been a big letdown. Not even to not win, but just to go up there and not be my best self. You know what I'm saying? Like, those pictures are going to be on the internet forever. You know what I'm saying? Pictures are going to be on the IFBB website under Dana Cannon forever. You know, as for my stage shots. Or I don't think they do stage shots for the Arnold on the website. But either way, like, that stream is going to be there. Like, that's what you're going to put yourself out as your pro debut. And while it's something that I'm very hungry for, I know that the divine surrounded me, like, they know the plan. God knows the plan. So it's leading me in that way and taking me up in their hands and literally leading me in that way. Like, I could not work out for 2 weeks. Like, all I could do was upper body. And then, of course, you get to a point where 3 days back to back upper body, you like, I'm shot. I can't do another nothing with these shoulders, biceps, triceps, upper back, lower back. I can't do nothing else with this chest, baby. I'm tired. So it was like revealed to me, I guess, before it was revealed to me that I didn't get selected. I just think it's beautiful how the Bible is a living word. And the last one is the first verse. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And you know, today I woke up, like I said, I started to get sick yesterday. Today I woke up and it was just a lot worse. And I was like, okay, no fasted cardio. We need to focus on healing. Got my teas, all this other stuff. But I got right into the word, but I was listening to the word. Like, I found some online church and was listening to the word, listening to some sermons. And then, like, early afternoon, right before noon, I came outside to get in the sun and, you know, to read the Bible. And before I started reading the Bible, I was listening to a podcast. And it's crazy because the podcast led me to the Bible, because I already knew they had asked a question about a sin in this podcast, and I knew what the Bible said, but I wanted to know what the Bible said. I didn't want to paraphrase, nothing like that. So before I left this comment, I wanted to find the exact, you know, chapter. I wanted to find the exact book, chapter, and verse so that I can post this in the comment. And then from doing that, that just got me right back. And listen, let me tell you how funny it is. The chapter, the book is the book that I'm reading right now. I'm reading Matthew right now. And that's the book that, you know, they were asking a question. I mean, that's the book that they were asking a question from. I guess it could be Genesis as well, but I'm gonna say that's the book that they were asking the question from. So I already knew where to go in Matthew. I just needed to make sure that my understanding was 100% and I wasn't paraphrasing. So from posting, you know, the book, chapter, verse on this comment, it gets me right into my Bible study, right where I had left off reading Matthew, and right into actually like refreshing what I had already read. And I just like those minuscule synchronicities, and I don't even like calling them small or saying minuscule. I just want to say synchronicities, like. And I guess I'm saying that because I'm speaking to a camera, which is going to reach somebody. And I want to be like, what the hell is she talking about? And it's just like, you know, every little thing connects. Like, it's just beautiful how, like, when you see the connection and you see those dots, and you see the connection, you see the string. I think that is beautiful. I think it's God, like, you know, revealing himself. For me, it's like the Lord showing me, like, I walk with you. You hear me? I walk with you. And that's what this path has been about from the beginning. Even if I wasn't able to articulate it, I am so into fitness because the relentlessness that you have to have with it, the discipline, the obedience, the tenacity. There is a daily grind to fitness. There's a daily grind to be an athlete. There is a daily grind to be an elite athlete. And that grind has always resonated with me, especially in that arena. And the Bible is resonating with me as an adult, or at this time in my life, in my adulthood, because it's the same thing. Like, I need to be in the word daily for my spiritual fitness to be elite. I want to be able to like put scripture to everything. You know what I'm saying? I got this win. I won my pro debut. I want to put scripture to that. You know, asking you shall receive, knocks and the doors shall be opened. What your heart desires is already yours. God knows his plan before you can even ask. God knows your needs before you even ask. He knows your desires. And so like where I'm at, I'm like, I just want to put the word to it. And I had a tough time today healing because I guess I was just looking for the quick, convenient route to the healing. And it is like my stance in bodybuilding. When you take a natural route, it is much longer. But heed the path, heed the course, because what you desire and what you want is still at the end of that. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think it's beautiful how God is showing up in every message and in every thought that I have. I was sitting here and like dreading going to the gym, and I'm just like, man, it's boring in there. I don't feel good right now. Like, it's gonna make me feel even more shitty, like my body, like, and I'm just like, that's what led me to this. It's like, get out what you need to get out. I'm like, no, this is for a therapist. And it's like, what would a therapist do besides what y'all doing? Sit and listen? You know, and it's just banter. Most of it, it's just a lot of it, not most of it. A lot of it is just banter. If you like, there is a message, but a bulk of it is banter. It's looping thoughts. It's repeated thoughts. If you're really listening and attentive listen, you'll hear my heart desires, and hopefully that's the message. It's for you to follow your heart desires and what that path looks like for you. And yeah, so that's one I wanted to lead with. And it's crazy, 27 minutes in, it feels like I've talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna go in a little bit to why I got incarcerated, which, like, yeah, listen. So I got pulled over for my license. However, I sat in jail for 32 days because I had some false drug charges. I had creatine on me, which they said field tested for cocaine, and I had caffeine tablets on me, which they said field tested for oxycodone. And I sat in jail. I almost said prison. I sat in jail for 32 days for that. While they cleared my name and why things was at work. You know what I'm saying? Not clear, because they didn't clear my name. They didn't charge me with it. Because while you're sitting in jail, charges are still pending. So they had to do some further tests to confirm it is what they said that it was. And of course, it wasn't what they said that it was, because that was creatine. And that was, I'm like, that was oxy. That was caffeine. And so of course I would have liked for that to not have take 32 days, or to not even have to go through that, to not be persecuted in that way. However, even in the word, we are vindicated for his name. In his name. It's for him. And so those 32 days was intimate dining with Jesus. And it was also, we're going to get into the thick of it. I ain't really, not that I ain't got the time, but I got that 10% message coming up. But it's okay. I'll do a part 2 then. But that time was really for intimate dining with Jesus. And so, anyways, back on today, I'm sitting here today and just out healing in the sun, letting the mucus drain out of my body. And once the sun went down around 5:45, I'm like, all right, it's time to go to the gym. And I was dragging my feet, and I'm just like, the gym don't feel good. And I'm like, I just wish I could smoke right now. And I'm just like, but that's not gonna make you feel good. And I'm thinking of what makes me feel good. And then I'm thinking specifically today, like what made me feel good. And it was only when I was reading the word that I felt good, that I felt like I do when I'm on a little bit of bud or something, not something, on a little bit of bud, um, or a lot of bit of bud. But reading the Bible brought me that same piece of woosah that I get when I'm smoking THC, like physical woosah. And I was just sitting there like, God, I can't read the Bible all day. And, I mean, if you want to, you can. But so yeah, that led me to this message, just to get out like what's been on my mind. Like, I was disappointed that I didn't get direct. My skin is working with me. I was disappointed that I did not get direct communication from the staff at the Arnold, that I wasn't in the show. But I mean, getting nothing is the same as getting something. Like, if I was in the show, they would have sent me something. But I guess I mean, okay. The reason why it reminds me of like the season I'm in right now. By me sitting in jail, I lost my job, so I'm back, looking for a job. And it reminds me of like, whether it's a corner store application or career job. It's just like, I took the time to put this application in. I took the time on my cover letter to customize it to you. You could at least send me a rejection, like, we're going on with other applicants. Da, 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 da. I do prefer those when I'm putting in the application, especially those 9 to 5s, more corporate type jobs. I'm like, dang, y'all could have said something to a nigga. Like, I did put something out there. I did have communication with you, and you didn't say nothing back. And I guess that's how I was feeling. I guess that was how I was feeling with the Arnold application. I was like, just like I would get something if I was invited